Welcome back. All right, so I've gone around how to do this video a few different ways, and I've decided on this goes on the Entertainment Guy channel. So it's about hockey and hockey jerseys, kind of, sort of, but not really. Because again, I've been talking on this channel about getting older and things that have changed and things that haven't changed. And so it was brought to my attention that Ryan Whitney, who is of the Spit and Chicklets podcast, basically said a man 39 or older shouldn't be wearing a hockey jersey. This gets into the jersey fouls that I see. You can't wear a jersey of a player who's younger than you, and all the other jersey fouls that are out there. But again, this video isn't specifically about hockey, so I'm going to put this on the Entertainment Guy channel instead of on the hockey channel. I may post it on the community page of the hockey channel as well, though. So, I looked this up. I did a quick Google search on, okay, so a man in his 40s or 50s, how are they supposed to dress? So how are you supposed to dress at a certain age? And there's this expectation that, all right, you've gotten older now, so you gotta stop with what you're wearing. That's all gotta go. Why? My only answer to that is why. Who does it hurt? Why? Like if someone doesn't like what I wear, fine, but they don't have to wear it. Nobody's making them wear it. So apparently, I'm supposed to be wearing slim straight jeans or chinos. Nope. Solid color tees. Nope. Polos or untucked button-up shirts and tasteful outerwear. Harrington jacket, leather jacket. That says leader, not leader, leather. So as you get older, we've already done enough of those videos. I don't need to do that today. So leather jacket or a bomber. So, I have a bomber. I have a couple of bomber jackets, but they're hockey related, so it's not what they're saying. And if you want to look at footwear, leather boots, loafers, or sneakers, and they mean like suede sneakers, not like fancy upscale sneakers. Just basically old man. And when I read this, I was like, so old man clothes. Got it. It's something that I really don't have any interest in. And another article I read said no bright acid colors or pastels, so that would rule out this fantastic Hamilton Bulldogs jersey. And opt for basically they said camel. I'm thinking so beige, gray but light gray, not dark gray. Let's not go crazy. Navy blue, forest green, or dark red. So boring. And again, it was anything brash will scream midlife crisis. I'd rather not go out and have people going, hey look, Shannon turned into an old man last night. That's a shame. That's a shame. Because really, like, I find it really odd. And the other part too is there's a lot of stuff that was on the list I don't even have. I don't have a wristwatch. Every list I looked at, it was like, oh, you gotta have a really, and they were like, you gotta pay like $300 for your wristwatch. You gotta have like a $300, $400 wrist. You're an old man now. You've got more money than you had in your 20s. So get yourself an. I don't have a wristwatch. I have a phone. I need a wristwatch for. I'd be setting the wristwatch by the phone. Got my phone all the time. So I found that weird, and I thought, so I would just be wearing it for a look. So it's just, well, I'm fancy. Look at my fancy wristwatch. I see that and I think to myself, I should go out and get a Toy Story wristwatch. I should go out and get one where the hands are Woody's hands and get that. And say, look, I got my fancy wristwatch. $15 from the Disney store. Anyways, only have to wind it up 6 times a day. But yeah, like that one's weird. Chinos, again, I don't have chinos. Dress suit, I don't really have a dress suit. I have dress clothes. I can put together a dressy outfit. A couple of times I've gone to Vegas and I've had to put one together. So, with those 2 Vegas trips, I do have dress clothes. I don't generally wear them. It's not really my thing, but I do have some dress clothes. And basically, the outfits they were talking about, they're boring outfits. And at some point in time, you're expected to just sort of fall in line. How old are you? I'm as old as I am. Like, and maybe part of it too is you're working from home, and it's not like one day there's an alarm that goes off, and you look and you go, oh, I'm too old for those socks. I got to get rid of those socks. Like, so in this house, I try to make sure that I have really brash, bright colored socks and undergarments, because otherwise they tend to disappear when you do the laundry. The boys will take something and go, oh, I didn't know it wasn't mine. So I'm like, all right, I will get the most garish, brash, loud colors possible, which according to this list, I'm not supposed to be doing. The loud and garish colors. I would also throw in that on this list, they don't mention t-shirts like rock t-shirts, so I'm guessing those are out as well. There's a lot of people my age and older that wear rock t-shirts, and I wear rock t-shirts myself, so I guess those are all gone too. And TV show t-shirts, anything 80s throwback related. There are so many of mine that would just be gone. That'd be it. Okay, that's it. It's done. The interesting thing is that if I had followed this, so this is the guideline, right? The guideline is you dress like this, you act a certain way too. Clearly, if you're going to have to change the way you dress, you change the way you act. A lot about refinement, and you're getting into your better years, and this is really truly your greatest years. And I'm thinking, yeah, I don't know that it's my best years. It doesn't feel like my best years physically, but sure, all right, let's go ahead and go down that rabbit hole and say it. Everything's great when you're old, which fine, but why does the clothing, like, I understand there's certain things you can't wear anymore. I get it, but like when I'm seeing things about, and again, if we're going to say that with hockey, then it'd be the same with baseball, with football, and that's why this is going on the Entertainment Guy channel, because it's not just about hockey. I have baseball jerseys, I have football jerseys. By that standard, I can't wear those either. And so I just find the whole thing odd. I remember when I was arguing with my former bosses when I worked at the call center, because there were certain times of day that I was allowed to wear jerseys at work and certain times I wasn't. And I never quite understood the reasoning. And I remember one boss telling me once, well, when the client expects a certain level of professionalism, the client being, who we had the contract through. The interesting thing being when I met guys who were from the client, I would know who was coming in and I'd be like, okay, he's coming in. He's from Minnesota, right? I'll wear a North Stars jersey. Oh, he's coming in. He's from Dallas. Well, I'll just wear the Dallas Stars. And it was a good conversation starter. To be honest, it was, and this was 20 years ago, right? So this is when it's still socially acceptable for me to wear a jersey, but it was a great conversation starter. Somebody come by like, hey, you got a North Stars jersey on. Nice. Yeah. And then we could talk about Norm Green sucks. That could be a conversation. It was a conversation starter. And so I used my jerseys to my benefit at that job. And then they tried changing the guidelines for when you could wear them and when you couldn't. So I changed my shifts to match with the guidelines. I was like, you know what? This is a rule just for me. When the entire building is changing a rule because I'm going, and the argument was, well, these clothing, this clothing is finer than that clothing. I'm like, yeah, and these jerseys cost me twice as much as that shirt cost you. So what makes your garment finer than mine? It is this weird judgment we have as a society, which is like, oh well, that guy sucks. I mean, look what he's wearing. Why? I mean, why? I mean, even if I see, like, if I see a jersey somebody's wearing and the guy whose name's on the back was a complete bust, I think to myself, well, that's a one of a kind, because I don't think there's very many people wearing that one these days. So like a Senators Dag jersey, something like that, right? Or if you're a Jacksonville fan, Bortles. But I mean, not necessarily Bortles, but the good place gets stuck in my head. I just find it such an odd conversation to have in 2023. Because, yeah, there's a lot of men my age that don't wear what men my age are supposed to wear. So unless you're dressing like this, which again, to me, is just boring. As soon as I was reading the list, I was like, this list is boring. This list sucks. I don't want to wear any of this stuff. And I don't have to. There were some quotes in a couple articles, too, on whatever makes a man comfortable. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, but nothing you guys are suggesting makes me comfortable. All of it makes me kind of itchy. When I'm wearing a shirt that's got the neck, it's buttoned up right at the neck. It just I feel constricted. I don't feel all that comfortable. It has to be really really loose neck, and if it's gonna be loose neck, it's probably gonna be a giant shirt, and then I'm not gonna feel comfortable either because the shirt's just hanging off me. So jerseys work. Jerseys work 90% of the time for videos. When I go out in public, I usually wear a t-shirt. Very often it's a rock t-shirt. And I don't think a lot about which ones I'm wearing. And I make sure if I'm wearing hockey that I'm not basically wearing all of the entire outfit should not be of a team that I don't cheer for, because that can lead to awkward conversations in public. That's happened before. Where I had, St. Louis garb from head to toe basically. So I'm like, hey, Blues fan, huh? Okay, I could try to explain this to them, but I don't know how I can explain this without looking ridiculous. So yeah, I'll have to play along with this and we'll see where this goes. So yeah, that's definitely been a thing. And again, it's a conversation starter. And I don't have a boardroom. This is as close to a boardroom as I have. I am my own boss, and my boss says, you wear jerseys, sure, it's fine, it's no big deal. And definitely on this channel, I do want to wear the baseball ones and the football ones. Definitely, if it gets warmer, like it was the last couple of days, it's not as warm today, but then I will definitely want to wear something a little bit more along the baseball football lines because short sleeved and all. But it is an interesting conversation to have on the front that there are societal norms, and I always kind of roll my eyes at what the societal norm is and what's expected of me. And when the argument is, well, if you want to be a man and grow up, I kind of tune it out because without me tuning it out, I'm not here. There isn't there isn't a hockey guy. Part of what built up my channels is collecting and the collections I have. That's why on this channel, normally on the other set, I will have the Funkos behind me because it's a collection, and most of those Funkos are ones I got years ago. I'm not really collecting the Funkos anymore because I got the ones I wanted, and the market kind of gets saturated with them. And I never got them thinking they'll be worth hundreds of dollars someday, just thinking these are kind of fun. And so now I've got the collection that's in the background of most of the videos on this channel, and I'll get that set all figured out, and we'll get that all set up again. There's some conversations to be had about that because that room is in some state of disarray at this point. It really shouldn't be. But at any rate, yeah, I'm quite happy with how I dress. I'm quite happy with what I wear on a daily basis. I've talked about my t-shirts enough that I could do a video on my t-shirt collection, various t-shirts I have, which are rock based and t-shirt based and whatever else based because I don't like plain shirts. So when I was seeing like, oh, it's got to be solid color tees, I'm like, ah, really? Like you had me at tees, but then you lost me at solid color. Just why? So like honestly, anything in my clothing that was just a solid color, yeah, I got rid of it. Almost anything, anyways, I would get rid of it. I have turtlenecks that I've kept. I have some of the undershirts that I've kept too that are a solid color. But in general, it's boring. I like my prints. I like my colors. I like all that, and I like the bright and garish too. That's something that's been known for a long time. I do like the bright and garish. It does make it a little bit awkward when I'm talking about my favorites when it comes to baseball, football, basketball, hockey. And the garish ones are usually the ones that are my favorites. The ones that other people might say, well, that's really ugly, might end up being one of my favorites. The Denver Nuggets, man, those colors, those bright garish colors, love it. Um, and with football, I like the Bengals design. I think, and is it loud and garish? Sure. Is it ugly on some level? Yep. But it's one of the reasons the Bengals became my favorite team. Them and the Chargers have their beautiful powder blues. Those are above reproach. Anybody wearing a powder blue, I think you can wear that to a wedding. I think you can wear that if you're the groom. I think the powder blue Chargers jerseys might be the most beautiful jersey I've ever seen. But at any rate, and that's across any sport. But yeah, it is an interesting discussion, and I understand that it may be the unpopular opinion that people can still wear jerseys as long as they want, but it is one that I hold true and I've stuck with, and it's part of how the hockey guy became a thing and the entertainment guy as well. Plenty of jerseys, lots of jerseys. The one thing I did get a kick out of was that with that comment by Ryan Whitney, there were people who immediately pointed out that they sell jerseys as well, and they sell them in adult size. So there are adults out there with jerseys as well for them. And so yeah, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and yep, another video on the whole aging thing and how just silly it is. It's silly. It's silliness that at some point in time people will come in and go, yeah, so all this has got to go because you're in your 50s now. So I'd kind of turn this into like a den. Just have to turn it into a den. I'd probably have to start smoking a pipe, which I don't want to do because I don't smoke. I don't think I want to smoke a pipe. I don't think I want to do that, but at my age. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. All right. Let me know your thoughts. And if you're in that age range as well, what societal norm have you said, I'm not going to do that just because I'm old? Or what item, like video games, that kind of thing, what do you do? What are you still doing now that you were doing 20 years ago? You're like, yeah, I don't care how old I am. I'm still going to keep doing my own thing and rebelling against what's expected of me. Because while it was Ryan Whitney on this occasion, he's not alone. There are other people who feel that way too. And I've definitely had people look down their nose at me over the years, and it really doesn't bother me anymore. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. And do hit like and subscribe if you browsed your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for everything. I'll talk to you again soon.